never-seen-before spiral of white light. Some said it had a blue tail. Norwegian newspapers have been bombarded with people who claim to have seen it. Question is, of course, what was it? Now, some of the guesses range from a Russian missile, which Russia is denying, by the way, to a comet or some other type of object.
This next video was taken inside a mansion that is well known for being extremely haunted. On July 30th of 2022, Sabrina and her husband Carl decide to take a tour of the Aston Hall mansion located in Birmingham, England. The place itself isn't just known for being haunted, but also for its immaculate architecture that many are taken aback when seeing it in person. But it seems that the real reason people come here isn't just to admire the beauty of this place, but to experience the hauntings that tourists have encountered. There's a room in this mansion that once belonged to a young woman named Mary Holt. The story goes that Mary's father had heard that she planned to run away and marry one of the servants who worked there. Upset that his daughter would do such a thing, he goes to her room and locks her inside. Years would pass, and Mary would still be locked up inside this room. It was after 16 years of being grounded that Mary passed away. It is said that she died of starvation, but also partly of a broken heart. Now the story itself is quite tragic, but it seems that it wasn't tragic enough for Sabrina's husband, as according to her, he thought it would be funny to call out Mary after learning about her story. This is something Sabrina regrets, as she says that if it wasn't for her spouse calling out Mary, this chilling encounter wouldn't have happened. The two are climbing up the stairs to Mary's room when this is captured.
Mary? I mean you no harm. We know you're in there. We've seen you. Where are you, Mary? Mary?
Did you see it?
Mary? Mary? Are you still in there, Mary? You could come out now. Hello?
Inside Mary's old room, a shadow-like figure darts across the chamber in a swift motion. The two stand in silence while breathing heavily in anticipation. It doesn't show itself again until moments later after being called out by Sabrina's husband, as though acknowledging the husband's summoning. Now, something worth mentioning is that the couple doesn't enter the room to see what's inside. The reason for not doing so, according to them, is that the museum prohibits anyone from entering the room. As with any historical piece on display, this one is off limits to the public. To this day, Sabrina and her husband have no idea as to who or even what was caught on camera. Marcos Garcia is the owner of a small car shop that is currently operated by just one mechanic. This mechanic is the only employee at this workshop, and it was just recently that he received a car from a customer who needed repairs on the vehicle. Ever since receiving this car though, strange things have been happening around the place. Both the business owner and the mechanic believe that there's something quite mysterious about this car. They don't know what it is, but they have a slight suspicion that it might be the reason as to why unexplainable things have been happening recently. This vehicle, according to them, scares them. Although feeling creeped out by the car's presence, they don't think much of it and carry on with their daily assignments. But then one day, a very peculiar incident is caught on camera. Marcos, the business owner, is watching over the shop through a security camera when he notices the mechanic acting very strange. The old man was moving in such a way that it made him feel very unsettled. But when the mechanic was asked as to what he was doing, he replied that he was talking to the client who had dropped off the creepy car. Marcos, though, found this very unusual. The video Marcos had seen tells a different story. This is what he saw.
Oye, este weón se volvió loco. Estoy revisando por la cámara del taller de mi teléfono, estoy en mi casa y este maestro está hablando solo. No cacho qué onda. De verdad que no cacho qué onda. No, está hablando solo. Le voy a preguntar por cámara qué está haciendo. A ver, vamos a preguntar. ¿Sabes que consígueme el teléfono con la Connie, porfa? ¿Pero con quién habla, weón? ¿Aló? Oye, disculpa, pero con quién estás hablando?
Con don Carlos, me está viendo, pasando el presupuesto y explicándole el tema del accidente que tuvo anoche en la carretera. Entonces me está viendo el presupuesto y yo estoy
Oye,
explicándole lo que le estoy diciendo.
oye, cálmate. ¿Qué, don Carlos? Pero, oye, escúchame un poquito. Tú me estás hablando del accidente de anoche?
Claro,
Juan, me estáis huellando, ¿cierto?
no, pues es que con don Carlos aquí, pues. Le estoy explicándole todo.
Oye, podéis subir. ¿Sabes qué? Oye, es que no estáis hablando con nadie, viejo.
No puede ser, pues yo tengo el caballero aquí al frente mío, pues, weón.
No estás hablando con nadie, Juan, y ayer los que chocaron murieron todos.
Le estoy diciendo, estoy con los caballeros.
Juan, no estás con nadie, sube y ven a ver las cámaras, tengo todo grabado.
No, que no sea así, pues, cabrón.
Sube, viejo, sube, vente al tiro. Si no estás con nadie, Juan.
Párala. Es que el caballero me acabó escuchándome él, pues me está
Viejo, no, tengo grabado, vente, por favor, vente.
Confused and slightly unsettled by the old man's behavior, Marcos immediately calls him to ask what exactly is happening. To his shock, the mechanic replies that Carlos, the client who had dropped off the car days ago, was visiting him to discuss details about his car and a racing accident that occurred the night before. Marcos was chilled to his core. Hearing him mention the racing accident from last night was beyond strange. As it turns out, Carlos, the client, had passed away in a terrible street racing accident the night before. The mechanic had not been aware of this incident until recently. The question is though, how could it be that the alleged spirit of Carlos had paid the mechanic a visit? Is the so-called haunted car responsible for this? Or is this simply a case of someone who's become slightly unhinged from doing too much work at the shop? Just like Marcos, viewers believe that something supernatural was caught on camera. The following video comes from James Fodder, who recently bought a doll from a secondhand store. Apparently, the doll is worth a lot more than what the store was selling it for. For this reason, James had bought the doll. However, ever since bringing it home, strange things have been happening. From hearing strange noises at night to seeing doors open and close on their own, James suspects that the doll might be responsible for the unusual activity. And so, he decides to record the doll in front of a camera inside an empty room. He hopes to capture footage of something that would prove it's haunted. Initially, nothing odd is captured in the first few days of recording, but then, one night, something very strange happens. Now the camera that he uses is programmed to move wherever it picks up movement, so if something moves, it will point to that object. We can see it doing that in this footage, but strangely, the camera pans around the room as though it's picking up movement from somewhere. This is what was captured. Could it be that the camera is detecting an unseen presence? Or is it just not functioning properly? Although it's likely that there's a problem with the camera, something really creepy happens 2 nights later inside the room, which has made him think that the camera was actually picking up something. James is away from home when the following happens. He writes, "Just wow, I've been leaving the closets open in case anyone thinks I'm hiding inside. I don't even know what to say." This is what was captured. Out of James's bathroom comes out what appears to be a dark, shapeless figure. It seems to dart across the floor before disappearing from sight. James believes that this may have been the apparition that was being picked up earlier by the camera. He also thinks that this mysterious figure might be attached to the doll. Ever since then, he's been filming more at night. Little does he know that he'd be capturing something way more terrifying than this. James is sleeping in his room upstairs when the following happens. On camera, the doll moves on its own. It appears to move for just a few seconds before abruptly stopping. Feeling very unsettled, James posts the footage online to see if anyone could explain this video. It's not sure if he'll continue to hold on to this doll based on what occurred, but it might be best if he keeps it locked up inside this room, as an occurrence like this definitely warrants it. And captures footage of something pretty disturbing. The following video comes from a salesman who was traveling overseas for a business trip. Due to travel restrictions affected by COVID, the salesman had self-quarantine for a total of 7 days. His self-quarantine took place at a hotel where he booked a room all for himself, but during the 7 days that he's there, something really creepy happens. On the second night of his quarantine, the salesman is talking to a friend via webcam when all of a sudden, this happens.
マジでだから部屋間違えたんじゃない？
飯の時はノックされるんやけどね。
隔離はいつまで？
あと5日。
After checking to see who was knocking at his door, the salesman returns to his seat, seeming unfazed by the mysterious knocks. He chalks it up to a hotel employee who might have accidentally knocked on the wrong door. A few minutes pass, and the conversation between the two then segues to the topic of food served at the hotel. But as they continue to talk, something shakes up the salesman.
Oh. アジア料理が多いね、やっぱ。
また聞こえたね。
また？
今録画してるまだ。
してる。
ちょっと待ってよ。
何してんの？
ちょっと見て。
その強盗とかだったらやばいんじゃない？
証拠取れ。
証拠？ちょっとフリーズしてるけど、証拠取れなくない？大丈夫。いないじゃん。誰もいない。
誰もいないし。
おう。
見た？
前の部屋のやつがなんかいたずらでやってんじゃない？
It is at this moment when his friend thinks that a next-door neighbor is playing tricks on him, yet the salesman isn't sure if anyone is occupying the rooms near him. His friend then jokes that the room he is in might be haunted. The salesman doesn't think much of this and decides to go to bed. However, later that night, he is woken up by someone knocking at his door. Though this time, he fails to capture anything on camera as the knocking stopped when he started recording. But he was now more determined than ever to catch whoever it was that was playing with him. The next day, as he waits patiently for the knocks to occur, this happens. Once again, there is no one at the door. He checks both ends of the hallway, but not a single person is in sight. It is at this point that the salesman questions his sanity. But just when things couldn't get any more creepy, something else happens that has left him completely spooked. The following night, he is woken up once again by mysterious knockings, but this time, something far more unexplainable happens. After checking again to find no one at the door, the salesman turns around and sees all doors inside open. Naturally, he was in total shock. He was now convinced that the room he had booked is actually haunted. Perhaps his friend was right after all. Something is inside this room. It's what happens the following night though that leaves him beyond terrified. On the 6th night of his quarantine, he decides to use his PC camera to capture anything that may occur inside his room. The camera is left recording as he goes to bed. And to no surprise, he is woken up by someone knocking at his door. But as he walks over to the entrance, the salesman immediately notices something odd. The knocking doesn't appear to be coming from outside, but rather from inside his room. Upon opening the door, he finds no one there. The salesman is at a loss for words. He is now sure that whatever is going on is beyond explanation. Now, it's a good thing the salesman had set up a second camera, as the following incident would have gone unnoticed. During the time he's inside the bathroom, a bottle falls on its own. If you look closely, you can see the bottle move slowly towards the edge before falling over. Like with all occurrences, this one has left him baffled. Luckily though, the salesman won't be staying here any longer, as the next day will be the end of his quarantine. To this day, he can't think of anything that could explain what happened in that room. The salesman thinks that the room might be haunted. But, like most videos, it's hard to be sure if that's the case. It's not certain if this whole incident was just a setup, or actual paranormal evidence. Until it's made clear as to what exactly happened, you be the judge on whether or not something paranormal occurred. Next video, a man is hiking in a secluded forest when he stumbles upon a small house that seems to be abandoned. After hesitating at first, he later decides to get close to the property. What happens next is pretty terrifying. This is what he caught.
Fan ass.
It appears that the house wasn't abandoned after all, yet it's unknown as to who or even what had been inside. Whether it was the owner of the house or something else, there's no denying that whoever or whatever this was has left the man completely disturbed. Maybe next time he'll think twice before entering a house in the middle of a forest.
Look at Shaq. Look at his face.
He ain't moved.
He's not moving. Look.
And he not
Look
gonna
at
move
him
until they say his name. Look
He
at
is
his
stuck.
eyes. Look everything.
Look at this.
Nothing. Look at his hands. Nothing.
Welcome to
Look,
Inside.
now,
Shaq's right there.
He said Shaq, and then he popped back. Bro, y'all cannot tell me that this MK Ultra stuff ain't real.
Kamu melihat ada gelembung-gelembung udara macam begitu, guys. Nah, tuh. Gelembung-gelembung udara yang berjalan begitu, guys. Nah, itu berhati-hatilah dan waspadalah, guys. Bahwasanya di dalam air itu ada predator yang bergerak, guys. Nah, dia sedang menuju bergerak ke sini, guys, ya. Nah, itu tuh. Nampak kan gelembung-gelembungnya kan? Itu tuh. Gelembung-gelembung bergerak gitu, guys, ya. Nah, seperti itu ya. Saya akan coba ya. Predator apa yang ada di dalamnya itu ya. Aku coba lempar batu, guys, ya. Nah, itulah dia, guys, ya.
So down there, out of all those kayaks and kayaks, the paddleboard is what color?
For Ivan, the creepy activity all began when he received a creepy doll for Christmas, a Chucky doll to be precise, which he soon discovered would activate on its own, without pressing the button, and even without its batteries.
Ese día hasta lo puse a prueba, le pregunté cómo se llamaba y me contestó.
Hola, ¿cómo te llamas?
His mum had already told him that when he left the house, she would sometimes come into his room and find the doll upside down on the side of his bed, with no explanation whatsoever. This happened on 3 separate occasions, but Ivan didn't believe her. Now, after looking at the box, he discovered the pack of batteries inside, the same batteries that were supposed to be inside the doll in order for it to activate. Yet it has been working without them this whole time, so he then decides to test it again.
Hola, Chucky. Chucky.
Now that is just the beginning of things, because over time, the doll began to activate more often out of nowhere, and at night without anyone pressing the button on it. And it didn't take long for paranormal events to start happening. Watch closely. After this, Ivan decided to not take any chances and set up a security camera pointing right towards the doll, and it quickly captures something chilling. Objects can now be seen moving by themselves inside the house. Some of Ivan's viewers were skeptical, saying that the doll doesn't even talk or use batteries, and that the sound of the doll is not original audio.
Aquí sí me dio miedo, le pensé en entrar, sentía que alguien saldría corriendo y fue lo contrario, me cerraron la puerta.
Alexa, enciende luz de la habitación.
Hay algunas cosas con ese nombre: televisor habitación y espejo habitación. ¿A cuál te refieres?
Espejo habitación.
Muy bien.
The home security camera seems to capture something unnerving that he missed when searching the room.
ghost on camera. Oh my god, she's standing at the stairs and it's the same lady. Look, this is real, guys. She's standing at the stairs right there. Do you want to talk to us? I got the chills, bro. That is scary, huh? So now we're gonna try to communicate with the ghosts. This is a spirit box. This helps us communicate with ghosts. Hello? Is anyone there? Are you a girl? It made fun of me. You heard that? I said the same thing, and the ghost said, "Are you a girl?" Guys, there's something upstairs. It's the ghosts from yesterday. Or what if the ghost girl went upstairs? Are you upstairs? Can you make a noise for us? You heard that?
Yeah.
Was that you that made the noise by the fridge? Do you know Zozo?
¿Cómo está mirando hacia acá? Mira. ¿Ves que parece como si nos estuviera mirando? Qué horror. Amor, amor, parpadeó. Amor, te lo juro que parpadeó.
Stumbled across a creepy hole that was covered up in the middle of the desert in an unknown location, so he decided to uncover it and have a look what's down the dark hole.
Subhanallah.
After enhancing the brightness, we can see what potentially looks like many pairs of glowing eyes lurking at the bottom of the dark hole.
Black man. Are you okay?
This is why you should never play red door and yellow door.
Pretty much. Sir, do you hear anything? No. Go towards the light more. Go more in the center of the kitchen. Yes. Alright. I'm in the center now. It's now it's like neon white. I'm in a totally different room now. It's all white. All white? Is there anyone with you? No. Wait, this dude. Is this all playing Black Man? Are you okay? Are you okay? What? Are you okay? Yeah. Are you alive? Yeah. It was an all playing Black Man? Are you serious? Are you joking? No. Oh my god. What? He was in the game. Okay. Are you okay? What? No. Oh my god. What? You're fine. You're fine. I woke you. I just want to play Madden.
So second rule, if you see any demons or thing talking to you, don't talk to them in that dream. And the last one, if you get trapped in a room full of clocks, you have to get out right away or you might stay in that room your whole life.
Oh, because you ever had those, like, for example, sleep paralysis? And I heard like some people, they have heart attacks. They die. And it's during their sleep. And there's literally no scientific proof of, or medical proof of what actually killed them. They don't know what triggered it.
It's like a paranormal thing, or it's like,
so
no.
Who knows? What if those deaths, like those deaths when people die in their sleep, like certain ones, it's because of paranormal things like that. Because what if our dreams are actually just jumping into different dimensions and portals?
And by mistake, you jump into a death portal and like it ends up being that. Oh, that's fucking scary, bro.
Have you ever experienced deja vu? If you've ever had the feeling of having lived a moment before, you've already experienced deja vu. It's an inexplicable phenomenon. And what if you had actually already lived that moment? The theory put forward suggests that our consciousness has already lived thousands of different lives before. And when we die, the bright light we see at the end of the tunnel is actually a form of rebirth into the world, as a baby. It is said that between the ages of 1 and 3, memories are being erased. That's why we don't remember anything at that age. And sometimes, not all memories are erased properly. That's why we can have this deja vu sensation, which is actually a remnant of memories from our past life. The deja vu you experience would therefore be truly real.
A. De La Rosa is out in his backyard with his 2 dogs when they begin acting strangely. One of them in particular starts repeatedly jumping at something that just isn't there.
Look at the way she jumps. Fun. Hi, beauty. Yeah. Look, Jennifer, there's somebody right there. I got that. Oh my god, I got that. I swear to God. Oh my god.
You just continue. Yeah, I see her fast.
Babe, she was right there, baby. I saw her.
Oh no?
Hold on. I saw her playing, baby. Hold on.
Some strange mist that looks a bit like a running child passes right in front of the camera and then seems to just disappear. So did Jay catch a ghost girl agitating his dogs and then running across his yard? Or is this just a hoax? And if it is a hoax, what's with all the jumping?
I don't know what the point of this is, man. If I'm not here, shit don't happen.
South Africa safe? That's the #1 question asked before people travel here. Let's start with the facts. South Africa has one of the highest intentional homicide rates in the world. That's just a fact. All crimes against tourists are crimes of opportunity. Always be aware of your surroundings, don't wear flashy jewelry or carry visible, expensive camera equipment, and avoid walking.
Yep, these are thousands of people running away terrified.
The end is near, I assure you.
This guy in the white top is about to get really lucky as a mysterious explosion rips through Johannesburg's central business district.
In Johannesburg, South Africa, there recently was a huge creepy explosion in the middle of the city that spanned over 5 blocks. The disaster caused thousands of people to run screaming, and many saying this is the sign of the end.
Today you get to say I told you so.
Many thought this was a gas leak, but the gas company who worked on the pipes explained that there was no way this was a gas leak.
It's a cover-up.
Out of the injured people, many of them have been discharged from the hospital and will be okay.
The Matrix is older than you know.
Hello? Oh my God!
Over a dozen law enforcement agencies responded to a report of an active inside the United Center last night. Chaos erupted at Lil Durk's concert as reports of fans and law enforcement agencies into a frenzy. Bullet holes were seen in cars outside the stadium, and footage of concertgoers allegedly looting the event venue has since gone viral. There were fears among fans that might have been targeted at Lil Durk. However, law enforcement agencies have not officially confirmed any details.
You know how that works?
Sure, the quadruped robot might resemble a good boy.
You're gonna help us make sure he understands what happens if he's not a good boy.
But it's packing a built-in sniper rifle capable of engaging targets from 3/4 of a mile away.
That's not cool, man.
The service could operate this robotic weapon system remotely. Importantly, it would only engage targets with permission from a human being. It's a 10-shot rifle chambered in a 6.5mm Creedmoor, a new, medium-caliber, high-velocity, long-range precision round.
And as we bring these technologies out, the grid comes down. We don't need it anymore. When there's a snowstorm or hurricane or whatever, you don't lose power because you're not dependent on a grid that's going to be torn down. By ice and snow and wind. Then, as time goes forward, anything that you need in the house for energy, you have, it can be in a closet in the basement, not have to be outside. It doesn't depend on the solar. All the wiring and the things you plug in, you don't need wires. And all these wires, it's a clutter of wires. You don't need them. otherwise is locked down. You know, we are considered a planet that is dangerous and armed. And let's hold with this. This is so beautiful. I want to share this story because this is where I want to share the vision of where we're really going, the big, big picture. So about 100 years ago, we entered a new era, a cycle, universal cycle, the duration of which is 500,000 years. The last one that just closed, they call them yugas in the Sanskrit, was about 450,000 years. We're the crossover generation. We're the last 100 years. So far, we've gotten it very wrong, but we can fix it. When I was a little boy growing up in a shack in North Carolina,
I basically live in a van down by the river.
Poor, dirt poor. I would walk around as a 3, 4, 5-year-old, and I would hear the planes. This is like 1950s, early 60s. And I knew in my heart of heart, this shouldn't be here. I see belching diesel. I said, why is this here? I actually knew in my intuitive self that something was wrong. We had gone way off path. And this was the 50s. And I could just felt it. I remember.
What did you invent?
I invented the EHG, or Energy Horizon Gatherer, and it's an energy initiative to collect cosmic energy.
And how would you explain cosmic energy to someone who's never heard of it before?
Well, simply, cosmic energy is the expansion of space that is reverberated out. So space expands, and as it does, it releases cosmic radiation.
Oh yeah? Watch this.
When this cosmic radiation hits our atmosphere, it transfers into the ionosphere and sends billions of particles of charged ions, raining down on us in quantities of, billions. And so I attract them in and pick them up and collect their charge.
If the universe is really 13.8 billion years old, shouldn't there be aliens everywhere? And if not, why not? I think it was Carl Sagan who said that there's either a lot of aliens or no aliens. Either one is equally terrifying. Meaning if there are no aliens, then what we have here is very rare. Now, a lot of people ask me, like, what about the aliens? Have you seen any evidence of aliens? I've seen no evidence of aliens.
What about these Pentagon videos?
So, there's advanced programs that the military has which are classified, and they wouldn't. So, if they had some really fast missile or something, even if somebody else in the military saw that, then they would still not tell them what it was because it's classified.
But perhaps the most exotic theory about the threats of the Large Hadron Collider is the one in which a global catastrophe has already occurred, and we barely survived it. This guy's name is Max Laughlin, and he looks no older than 15. Anyway, his fans call him one of the smartest teenagers on the planet. The founder of a high-tech startup, Laughlin also demonstrates deep knowledge of physics. And according to his hypothesis, the Large Hadron Collider experiments have already brought about a global cataclysm that affected all of us.
Whoa. That sounds awesome.
Whether it was a vacuum decay or a plasma explosion doesn't make too much of a difference. What matters here is that the survivors of this disaster were transported to a neighboring parallel universe without even noticing it, but only for a time. It's the Large Hadron Collider that Max Laughlin blames for the so-called Mandela effect. When the rights activist and former South African President Nelson Mandela passed away on December 5th, 2013, it turned out that thousands of people across the globe thought he was long dead. They were convinced he died in prison in the 80s and never got to be president.
I'm not from here.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins.
I think if anyone would know about aliens on Earth, it would probably be me.
I would think.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with space stuff.
Get it, your friend. Report your friend. You see your friend? Not that friend, this friend. No. No. Is he nuts?
Folks, stop playing with these devices.
I don't care what anyone says.
Oh my word.
There's nothing good that comes.
Nobody's touching it.
Yeah, now even more.
So this is the warden's. So this is the warden's basement.
It was moving.
And none of them.
You're allowing a spirit to manipulate your fingers to move an object.
Her elbow is not on the.
Why would you do that? That's number one. You're allowing them to take control of your hands to move the object. I don't. People say, "Oh, I've done it for years. I've done it for years, and nothing's ever happened yet." But when it does, you want me to clean up your mess. After I've telling people for 2 decades, leave this thing alone. I'm sorry. There's nothing good comes with using these things.
This is from New Zealand. And this is history starting to repeat itself again.
Where's the ghost?
That was stupid.
See, when I was young and used to watch TV, famous people would give normal advice, like don't take drugs, don't drink and drive, and this is the kind of stuff that everyone heard all the time when you were very young. Nowadays, people are glamorizing bad behavior, but seeing as the internet is now the television, and I am now a prominent face that lots of young men like to listen to, I'm going to make a point that I will be driving after this. That's right, I'm no longer locked in my house. And because I will be driving after this podcast, I'm going to drink absolutely nothing. The best policy to drinking and driving, whether to know if you're drunk enough, is very simple. Drink 0 drinks. Always.
Mystics of past and present, including all ancient religions, understood these concepts thousands of years ago. Still, it takes much to open the minds of the most pragmatic, self-conscious, and uptight people.
Oh. Who is there? Huh? Who is? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Cümlemizin de la ilahe illallah geçerli. Gittim. Su.
I'm going to prove the demons exist.
Matter and energy tend to be misleading if taken to indicate two distinctly different states of existence in the physical world that we know it.
Oh man, whoa.
Indeed, if the term matter is taken to mean solid substance as opposed to energy, which is understood to mean a force of some sort, then the use of the former is entirely misleading.
I'm following you, okay?
Science now knows that both the electrons which spin in the energy field located around the nucleus of the atom and the nucleus itself are made up of nothing more than oscillating energy grids. Solid matter, in the strict construction of the term, simply does not exist. Rather, atomic structure is composed of oscillating energy grids surrounded by other oscillating energy grids, which orbit at extraordinarily high speeds. In his book, Stalking the Wild Pendulum, Itzhak Bentov gives the following figures.
Please pay attention while I give you all the answers.
To storm with great thunder and release you from fear. We struggled way too long to not get paid for our songs.
And listen carefully to this.
Let me ask you, how many in this live right now want to be a rapper? I'm gonna tell you why you don't want to be a rapper right now. I want to be in some type of industry where they can get internet fame to get money. Let me tell you why. Your favorite rapper?
Of course, they're gonna walk off with all your portables, so you can't own nothing. But that's good.
It's the ancient Illuminati thread.
You know what's crazy? Your favorite rapper, you're happier than your favorite rapper right now. You watching this live, he turned up, he with the money, you happier than him. That money that he got, don't make him happy.
It's not real.
All this real life, none of, bro. Yeah, I don't understand, bro. There's so many people like that be telling me they love me.
That's weird.
I don't even know these first names. Like, these rap are the weirdest I've ever met in my life. Like, people will really tell you that they love you and you don't even know their first name.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Literally. You don't even gotta explain yourself, they gonna see. Like, so many people are chasing a dream they not even ready for.
So many people are chasing a dream they not even ready for.
Cause we need to revive our loved ones. Butt guns, we destruct them, and diamonds shine in our trust funds.
You're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil.
That's how I got introduced to the music industry. Because I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil. Well, needless to say, sold my soul. I swear to Lucifer. I sold my soul to the devil. Why is your hand over your eye?
Because I'm a devil worshiper, what are you talking about?
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me. And he says the things that I don't want to say. He threatens to beat people and he's violent.
What was your bargain to get where I am now? Should I ask who you made the bargain with? With the chief commander in this earth and in the world we can't see.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
This is what they worship, these Satanists, Baphomet. If you notice, he's androgynous. It's a male-female mixture. Also making these signs. You see the signs he's making using this sign because 11 is the devil's number. 11. 11? Because 11 is 1 beside 1. In their numerology, they use 11 a lot, and they like multiples of 11. 11, 22, 33, 66.
Started right at the beginning with a multiplication table.
They like these multiples. In their magic, they know the secrets of numbers, and so they use numbers. The Prophet ﷺ, when they used magic on him,
Voodoo economics.
they blew on 11 knots. And this is why the Mu'awwidhatayn has 11 ayahs, because it protects against their magic. This is real stuff, people. I'm not making this up. This is real stuff. You can see Madonna imitating here Baphomet, because she's one of them.
Could this be like numerology?
And she's a numerologist. She is a numerologist. She practices numerology. Lady Gaga's got tens of millions of followers. So the devil has plenty of followers on Twitter. Now this man over here, LaVey, started the Church of Satan. He wrote a satanic Bible, and he explained that symbol that they're all doing, that symbol, he said, was a curse symbol of devils. That's the way they put curses on people.
If that's what being crazy is, then I'm senseless, out of it, gone down the road wacko.
And you've got people at rock concerts, they're all doing it, thinking it's cool. Marilyn Manson was a follower of Anton LaVey. He has tens of thousands of people go to his rock concerts. He has them openly denounce God. Openly. He says, I want you all to reject God tonight. And they all do it.
You know it's true.
This is real stuff, people. He's very committed to this. He's a minister in the Church of Satan. And they use music.